Good morning.
Okay, gentlemen, you are live.
Okay, good morning, everybody. It is 9 o'clock, and we will start this Board of County Commissioners meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Would you all please rise? I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, gentlemen, the first thing we have on our agenda are the minutes from last week. Do you have any additions, corrections, or?
No, everything looked good. I would move that we accept the minutes for the Tuesday, October 12th Commissioner meeting.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept the proceedings of the Board of Commissioners, Montezuma County for October 12th, 2021. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This is so much easier.
You have to stretch.
Okay, planning, 9 o'clock. We have a continuation from our 10-5 meeting.
Morning.
Okay.
I think Kim needs to read the public notice again.
Do we need to reread it?
Yes, and
Yes.
call roll.
Okay. Well, then let's go ahead back to the roll call.
And is this Mr. Suckla? Pardon? Is this Mr. Suckla?
No.
No, this is Rocky Ford.
Okay. Had him back, sorry. Okay, Commissioner Candelaria,
Here.
Commissioner Lindsay,
Here.
Commissioner Stevenson.
Here.
Administrator Powers.
Here.
Attorney McLaren,
Here.
and Kim Purcell, Montezuma County Clerk and Recorder. I almost slipped up, sorry. Notice is hereby given that the Montezuma County Board of County Commissioners will hold a public hearing for review and determination of a special use permit application for the proposal of a solar photovoltaic, I tried that before and messed it up, PV project, submitted by Fish Brothers Land and Cattle Company, agent Cortez Solar 3 LLC, on property located at 25506 Road F.6, Cortez, Colorado, consisting of 39.70 acres more or less, located south of Road G, east of Road 25, situated in Section 11, Township 35 North, Range 16 West, N.M.P.M. The hearing will be held Tuesday, October 19, 2021 at 9 a.m. in the Commissioners' Hearing Room, Montezuma County Administrative Offices, 109 West Main, Cortez, Colorado. Interested persons may attend and give input. Information may be obtained from the Planning Office online service at https://co-montezuma-co.smartgovcommunity.com, public home. You may also contact the Planning Department at 970-565-2801 with questions. Dated this 12th day of October, 2021. Kim Purcell, Clerk, Board of County Commissioners, Montezuma County, Colorado. And this is continued from 10/5/2021.
Okay, thank you, Kim. Don, if you want to go ahead and give us your overview again and kind of where we lie with this.
Right, so continued from October the 5th, discussing the, this parcel that has the northern half of it would be encompassed by the solar farm. The discussion led to mitigation issues for the property owners of this parcel as well as a larger parcel to the northwest. So we met with the Fish Brothers Cattle Company Board of Directors and went through the issues on the adjoining parcel, and they have presented a resolution on mitigating factors that the county has been looking at and stuff that's just been compiling for the last, I don't know, 30, 40 years.
Okay.
So this was the main point of contingency to continue the public hearing to today.
And so I don't want to speak out of turn, but I would like to just briefly address the resolution that was presented to the commissioners. Certainly, as we discussed at the last meeting, this solar project is on a different piece of property that doesn't have compliance issues. And so legally, it really needs to be treated separately from the other pieces of property. The resolution that was presented to us, I reviewed it. It talks about taking steps to get those other properties into compliance. And I certainly, sitting here, can appreciate the steps that are being taken. What I would note, commissioners, is that looking at the resolution that was presented, the timelines are fairly lengthy. Some of the steps that would be taken would be 6 months. Some of the steps that would be taken would be a year. I understand there's a lot of issues on those properties, but with that being said, when it comes to land use code compliance and when it comes to significant lack of compliance, we can't wait that long. We can't afford to wait 6 months, 9 months, a year to get things into compliance. Per the statutory code, once a letter's sent, the landowner has 10 days to come into compliance with the land use code. 10 days, not 6 months, not a year. And so I think it's really important to understand that, regardless of what this board decides today as to this solar project, we've got a separate issue on those properties and significant issues. And, a big thing that this board has emphasized is we want properties to come into compliance with the land use code. We have a case in county court right now that is dealing with a property that's not in compliance and more coming. And so I just don't want any confusion to happen from anybody here today that even if this is approved today, that land use code violation and this idea that maybe it'll be a year to clean it up, it can't take that long. It absolutely can't take that long. And if it does take that long, I can assure you that there's probably going to be court action. I mean, certainly the board directs that, but I just don't want anybody to be confused that, okay, we're approving this solar project today with the understanding that we're also approving this plan to clean up this property over the course of a year. That's not the way this works. This isn't contingent. This isn't an agreement. They're two separate issues, and cleaning up those properties are their own issue. But by no means is this board today accepting that, okay, we're going to approve the solar project and the Fish Brothers Land and Cattle Company has 6 months, a year to get these other properties cleaned up. It just simply, that's not the case.
Okay. So basically, just so the commission, if I understand this correctly, we're looking at two totally separate issues. One is for the PV farm, and the other one is just the compliance with the land use code. So I think in front of us right now, we'll deal with both of them, but for what's on the agenda, I think we'll take them in order of the PV farm first, and then because the owners did bring us something to discuss or a resolution, then I think we can take that secondly, if that works in the legal.
Well, and Commissioner, what I would advise is that we address the solar farm today that's on the agenda.
Correct.
And then, certainly I anticipate that we'll continue to work with the Fish Brothers Cattle Company, Land and Cattle Company on that other issue. I mean, we're going to continue to monitor it. We're going to continue to move forward with appropriate action. Okay. But I'm not sure that we necessarily need to further discussion on that today.
Okay, well then we'll deal with what's before us today as the PV farm, and the other issue we'll take up as we go forward. So, anything else that you would like to add as the applicant?
I don't believe so, unless there's questions about, I guess, the reason that we're back here today. It seems like county's worked with Mr. Fish to begin addressing things. Yeah, if you have any other questions or any concerns about what might hold up our permit today, I'm happy to answer them, but I believe we've done what's been asked of us.
I think the only other question, and I think it was clarified last time, but there was a one easement or right-of-way issue. Was that addressed for the that boundary to the by the canal?
The access easement from the north off of Road G, they have an agreement with Carvers. And they will utilize that to come south and then west to access this parcel of property. And they do have a signed recorded agreement with the Bureau of Rec on recognizing the Bureau's access easement that's in place. And there's no issues
No
there.
issue.
The system doesn't overlap that easement for the Bureau. So that access is still valid, still open, and will be able to be utilized by the Bureau.
All right. Any other questions before we open it?
I've got a question. What's the meaning of life?
I'm not paid enough to answer that one.
Oh, okay.
It's too early in the week, Shaq.
Okay.
Even a Tuesday's too early in the week for that one.
I accepted a challenge.
Good
from
morning,
Haley
Mr.
this
Powers. I'm
morning.
glad you woke up.
Anyway, with that, we'll go ahead and open this back up to public comment. Anybody wishing to speak for or against this PV farm, come forward. State your name and address for the record, and you can address the board. Okay. Seeing no public comment, we'll close this portion of this public hearing, and I will bring it back to the commission. Any other questions, comments, or
No.
concerns?
I don't have any.
Okay, well,
I would so move that we approve the special use permit application for the proposal of a solar voltaic project submitted by Fish Brothers Land and Cattle Company, agent Cortez Solar 3 LLC, on property located at 25506 Road F.6 Cortez.
I'll second it.
okay, it has been moved and seconded to accept a special use permit application for the proposal of a solar photovoltaic project submitted by the Fish Brothers Land and Cattle Company, agent Cortez Solar 3 LLC, on property located at 25506 Road F.6 Cortez, Colorado. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right.
Okay,
Thank you, Commissioners.
thank you.
Thanks, David.
Yeah, thanks, Don. Jane. Sounds good.
What else do you have for us? We have
Since our next public hearing that was
closed the public
continued,
hearing.
yeah, it's not for another 10 minutes, 7 minutes. We
Do you
have 2 plats that were previously approved that we need signatures on.
Okay.
One for Pickens Amendment and one for the Stanley, 2-lot minor.
Okay. All right. You get to come down and sign stuff today.
We just put an X for you last night. Yeah.
not there, it's somewhere else. I'm not here, I'm somewhere else.
Oh, you used that stuff? Shaq put baby oil in there. You want the good stuff, sir?
Smell good now.
Smell like you need a diaper change.
All right, well, what can we do? McLaren, Mr. Ian, do you want to, we've got 5 minutes. Do you jump onto your report?
Sure.
Okay. We're going to jump around on our agenda here. We're going to go ahead and go to our county attorney's report until we have our 9:20 timeframe come up, so.
So I don't have a lot to report, Commissioners. I think the biggest thing, at least this week, has been continue to work with the Dolores Bike Club on possibly securing the easements for the bike trail. We're discussing a couple different options, and we'll continue to do so. There's a couple different options on the table. I mean, either the county can hold the easements, or there may be a possibility that the bike club could hold the easements. I'm not sure whether they're willing to do that. I did reach out to Danny Gregory last night and left a message with her, so we'll continue that discussion moving forward. We've still got several civil cases that are in the court system, waiting for orders on that. And then the other thing that came up this week, there have been a couple situations with pit privies that are on private property that don't comply with Regulation 43 or the Land Use Code. So I've been working with Cody at the Public Health Department to try to work to bring those properties into compliance. You know, what people need to understand is there are very specific guidelines under the state statutes for pit privies. And so they need to be a certain size, they need to be 400 gallons. There's certain requirements that do need to be met. And so, you know, certainly in this county, pit privies are still allowed, but they need to meet those requirements. So working with Cody to work through a couple of those properties. Other than that, not a whole lot to report. Steve continues to handle the dependency and neglect docket, doing a great job with that. Child protection's busy, as it always is, but you know, certainly trials have been put on hold, and so we've got some things in a holding pattern there, but we continue to have review hearings every couple weeks on most of our cases, and those are being held by WebEx, and so, you know, the hope is for those child protection cases that they'll continue to move forward, and we can get positive results, even with the situation that we have with the courts.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. Okay. Mine is turned, so I think we can go ahead and move forward. Would you guys like to come forward?
And this is another continuation of a public hearing?
Correct. And I'll ask for the roll call here in just a second. Okay, Kim, would you go ahead and call the roll, please?
Commissioner Candelaria.
Here.
Commissioner Lindsay.
Here.
Commissioner Stevenson.
Here.
Administrator Powers.
Here.
Attorney McLaren.
Here.
Kim Purcell, Montezuma County Clerk and Recorder. Notice is hereby given that the Montezuma County Board of County Commissioners will hold a public hearing for review and determination of a proposed single lot development and AR 3-9 rezoning application submitted by Jimmy G. Suckla on property located at 12588 Road 23, Cortez Cortez, Colorado, consisting of 49.37 acres, more or less, located east of Road 23, west of Highway 491, situated in Section 9, Township 36 North, Range 16 West, N.M.P.M. The hearing will be held Tuesday, October 19th, 2021, at 9:20 a.m. Commissioners' Hearing Room, Montezuma County Administrative Offices, 109 West Main, Cortez, Colorado. Interested persons may attend and give input. Information may be obtained from the Planning Office online service at https://montezuma-co.smartgovcommunity.com, public home. You may also contact the Planning Department at 970-565-2801 with questions. Dated this 14th day of October, 2021, Kim Purcell Clerk, Board of County Commissioners of Montezuma County, Colorado, and this is continued from September 7th, 2021.
Okay, Don, will you give us an overview?
Yes, so Jimmy and his wife, if you want to bring up the map, Shaq, they've got 49 acres, and they are looking to split off approximately 7.5, 8 acres with their house and property there from the ag land. So it's a single lot development.
Okay. Would you like to add anything, Jimmy? Or
No, I haven't got
Julie?
anything.
good? Okay. Questions, Commissioners?
I don't have any.
Okay. Well, gosh.
This is easy.
All right, then we will open this meeting up for public comment. Anybody wishing to speak for or against this application, please come forward, state your name and address for the record, and you can address the board. Okay, seeing no comment, we'll close the public comment session of this, and I'll bring it back to the commission.
Looks good to me.
Okay.
I have nothing.
I would move that we approve this single lot development AR 3-9 rezoning application submitted by Jimmy G. Suckla on property located at 12588 Road 23, Cortez, Colorado.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept the proposed single lot development and AR 3-9 rezoning application submitted by Jimmy G. Suckla on property located at 12588 Road 23, Cortez, Colorado, consisting of 49.37 acres more or less. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and I will close this public hearing.
Thank you. The other item is they have a variance application for the setback distance of one of the sheds on the property. The shed currently sits about 1 foot from the fence line. Then the irrigation pipe for the ag land is just outside of the fence. So they're requesting a 1 foot setback variance for that shed to the fence, which would be the property line.
On the north, I guess I'm assuming that's north?
Is that right next to
Kind
the
of
yellow
look.
dashed line?
Yeah,
Yes.
the north side.
Okay,
The one on the south side,
there we go.
reading
It's
it
got
has
plenty of
no,
room.
yeah. it's
Yeah, the
41
northeast
feet.
corner of the lower shed, it's 41 feet, so there's no issue there with the proposed parcel line, but the existing shed there is right there.
And then it also said that there's a fence line or something there that kind of delineates the 8 acres.
I can't hear you. I got my hearing aids in too.
Oh, that's, I'm sorry.
You know, last time I was here, I thought I might ought to give a class on speaking in one of these things. So every time I come in here or any meeting, it seems like nobody ever talks into a microphone. So all I'm trying to do is that fence line is right behind the shed.
Yeah.
And before that gated pipe comes down along that, the way they had it surveyed the first time, it cut off 30 feet there, halfway out across the field, just created a no man's land.
Yeah.
So there's just no way it could sell it that way.
So that keeps the pipe on the other
Keeps
side of the.
Keeps the pipe on
fence.
grade around the
Yes,
the hayfield.
keeps it, right, Joe's right.
Any No question?
No.
Comments? Okay, then I will accept.
You want to?
I can, yeah.
Okay.
I would move that we approve this setback variance for the shed on the northwest property line.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept the variance for setbacks submitted by Jimmy G. Suckla on property located at 12588 Road 23, Cortez, Colorado, consisting of 49.37 acres more or less.
Bless you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Commissioner, can you include that that is a 1-foot setback, just for clarity?
I can, and on the north property line, that would be a 1-foot setback from the fence line to
Yes.
accommodate the shed in the northern area.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. You're good to go. You're good to go.
Yeah, okay.
We'll need it signed.
Thank you for your patience.
I'll have it. I wanted to make sure.
You say I'm good to go, I can get out of here?
You were,
Well, if you want to hang around, you know, we're looking for somebody to buy lunch, you know.
No, well, we can do that.
Joel's trying to get out of it best way he
you,
can.
Yeah,
you
okay.
are good to go,
You
and
gonna
you,
cook it for us?
Sure.
All
This
right.
1 week, and I think I gotta make up for like 3 weeks or something, I don't know.
All right. Thank you.
thank you,
Thank
guys.
you, Jimmy. And we'll get that variance document for signature.
Okay.
I guess we can get it to you later this morning.
Okay.
Or sooner than later, because now that everybody's dropping off of the agenda, it's going to be pretty quick. So anything else?
I do not believe so.
Okay. We'll get that to us sooner than later.
We can do that.
No pressure for me, huh?
Okay.
It's all
thank you,
drawn up.
guys.
It's just a matter of confirming the setback distance.
We just confirmed it, it's 1 foot.
We heard you.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we're going to go straight into our public comment session. The Board of Montezuma County Commissioners welcomes you to this meeting. Person speaking during public comment will be limited to 3 minutes, or depending on the number of people wishing to speak, it may be reduced to allow all members of the public the opportunity to address the board. When addressing the board, please state your name, your address, for the record prior to providing your comments. Comments to individual supervisors or staff are not permitted, and participants may not yield their time. And with that, the public comment session is open. Okay, seeing none, I will close this public comment session, and I will go right straight into public safety. The coroner who was on the agenda has been moved off due to circumstances beyond his control, and we will go right straight into the emergency manager, who has a 200-page document to read for us.
Commissioners,
Good morning.
morning, Kim. Ian, Shaq, good morning, good morning. I am. I noticed you had it ready for me. So, monthly sit went out Friday night, and basically the preparedness levels throughout the United States are dropping. The local levels are dropping for, any kind of fire preparedness. So we're looking pretty good. There's still a couple fires in California, but our levels are dropping, which is outstanding. Water updates, we're actually, I had McPhee at 7,078 acre feet this Sunday. I didn't quite get his report for Monday yet. It was at 7,500, so we're getting some water back in there. So it's slowly filling back up. I listened to the drought report.
What did it sound like?
I'm sorry, what?
Nothing.
So I listened to the National Weather Service report yesterday on droughts and fires, and basically nothing's changed. We're still in extreme drought. I'm planning on anywhere from 5 to 8 degree higher temperatures for the upcoming 3 months. So it doesn't, I mean, we got moisture coming here and there, but the temperatures are still going to be higher than normal. And of course, the drought is still in the extreme drought, especially right in our corner, of course. Yeah. So air quality's fine. Covert updates, pretty much they remain the same. I checked them this morning. We still have 6 COVID patients in the hospital, 2 of which are fully vaccinated. We have 4 ICU beds, they're full, but we still have 17 beds out of 28 that are available. So we're not hurting too bad. Shiprock's moving some of their patients north, and San Juan Regional is starting to get full. But at this point, I was on that call last night, and they were talking about possible hospital overcrowdings again because of this spike, and they're seeing a little rise, but nothing major throughout Colorado at this point. But New Mexico was seeing they were starting to get full down there in San Juan Regional, so they're moving some patients around on that. CWPP, we're about 96, 97% complete. James Dietrich's working on that, and he's just a godsend, so it's great. We're almost done with that. We'll get it out to stakeholders, all the fire guys and everybody else, and we should have that done, I'm hoping this month, but I'm going to say for sure by December. So we'll have that one updated. That was a 2011 plan that we needed to update, so it's 10 years old, so this will be good. So that plan will be done. So I think we got all the plans. The latest plan that we have is today is the emergency operations plan, 199 pages. The commission received it, I think, last month. You had a good chance to read it. I know one of you may have sat at home for 10 days and read it pretty good.
Pretty thorough.
And our county attorney read it. He's good with it. So we've been in discussion on that, and we've been working on some MOUs too, so we're going to get there. But so far it looks good. No additions, corrections, or deletions. So I was going to request if you could vote on a resolution, and then we'll officially have an EOP with 17 annexes. First time ever from Montezuma County that we actually have a resolution on it. So
I did notice that there were a lot of new acronyms in there that I had never even heard of while reading it.
Right.
So,
And there's an acronym page somewhere in there that helps. Yeah, but there are some new ones.
Yeah.
You couldn't put in one of those pages that says intentionally left blank and made it an even 200?
You know, we did, and it brought it to 199.
Oh,
So as I was reading it, I don't think they were left blank. I think they had the county logo on them.
The COVID acronym, who came up with that?
That's a state thing. Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Yeah.
any questions, gentlemen?
no. Huh. You got the resolution?
It's in the
Right there.
EOP.
So you have to read this whole thing?
Yeah, it should just.
Right there on the front.
And I believe the number will be 15, correct, Kim?
Yes, sir.
I would move that we accept resolution number 2021-15 for the emergency operation plans revised and adopted October 19th, 2021.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept resolution number 2021-15, the Board of County Commissioners of the Montezuma County, State of Colorado, accepting the emergency operation plan and adopted revisions on 10/19 of 2021. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You need both of these signed?
Please.
In the main one.
Yeah, and that's going to be replaced with that. So I'll just take that out and put that one in its place, and then we have it at the beginning of the document. Yeah. And do you have that document? Do you need that? The big one?
I have it. That's what I'm saying, they have that to sign here. So,
I'll insert it. Once I scan mine, yeah.
do you want the 1 page or 2 page?
I'll take I don't care. Whatever we need is perfect, yeah, that's great. Gentlemen, thank you. That was
Go ahead.
a long process, and I appreciate all your patience on reading all these documents this year over and over, so. We're good. We're good for 3 years.
That was my question. Will you do it again?
I got nothing for 3 years, maybe, so. And that's all I got for a report today.
I actually have one other question.
Yes.
And since the fire chief is in the room, I noticed on your sit rep that we still have the emergency declaration from the CFPD. Is that, do you have any clarity on that as far as?
Sure. Our board of directors is elected to keep that in play just due to the fact that the rise in COVID. And unfortunately, we've had our first COVID within the Cortez Fire Protection District since the onset in the county March 13th of 2020. So just within the last couple days, we had one of our members that tested positive. That was a home test kit. He went to the health department or not to the health department, hospital and received a test. We'll find out, get confirmation on that tomorrow to find out 100% certainty that in fact is, but all his symptoms are indicating that he most likely does. So anyway, yeah, board with my recommendation felt that it was important that we keep that declaration in place. It is helping us with recapturing some of the funds that we're expending still to manage the PPE and different things that we have going on. Some of our the hours that were additional hours that we're putting in time, overtime.
Okay. That was it. I was just
Good.
curious.
No, yeah.
And then the PPE too, you're still making sure that we have enough PPE for all of the agencies that are affected, correct?
Yes, sir,
We
and I
still
just received another load from the state, and I'm stocked up for a while, so we're doing really well on PPE. Yep.
Okay. All right. Very good. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, Clarissa. I don't see Clarissa in the room. Have you called her?
Look on your.
Oh, here we go.
It's right there.
Let me get the volume up on this. I've got it.
And then the PPE too, you're still making sure that we have enough PPE.
Sorry, I got YouTube on also for the comments.
Sorry that we're meeting this way, Commissioners, so. Mine's just a head cold, though.
Well, good.
That's what I'd say too.
Yeah.
Okay, Clarissa, you have the floor.
I don't know if I lost audio. I can't hear anyone.
Shaq, you may have to go from your mic.
Okay, can you hear us now?
Nope.
Nothing at all? That's weird. She could hear us a second ago. How about now?
Okay, I'm hearing sounds now.
You're good to go, Clarissa.
Okay. So a few changes that Matt wanted me to mention. One, obviously, being that jury trials are not happening again. The chief judge did not give us a time frame at this point, although there are some set in November that were continued, and so we are hopeful that this is just a temporary restriction, and we'll be able to do those jury trials set in November. So that's what we're hoping for. Our office is remote as well. We've had some break out in COVID and law enforcement and some exposures to our office, and so we're all kind of working remotely for the next 2 weeks through the end of the month. And Shaq, I sent you, I don't know if you guys want to look at the case stats. I had a few go up this last quarter. a little higher on DUIs and whatnot, but everybody's still just plugging away and trying to knock out all this backlog, and we're hoping that this current restriction doesn't get too much of a backlog for us. So I don't know if the commissioners have any specific questions or anything.
I don't have any, Clarissa. I mean, obviously, Matt has, made the statement that sooner or later the backlog, we're not gonna ever be able to get to the backlog because it's gonna be too great. Do we have any idea of what really will happen?
I mean, the attorneys are trying to make the most reasonable plea offers that they can and get people to accept those. That's what everybody across the state is doing right now, just because it's better to try to get some kind of plea agreement than to run out on a speedy trial and have to just dismiss the entire case. So a lot of people throughout the state are just kind of going that route. Strategy-wise, we're taking a look at cases individually, look at circumstances, look at, potential threat to the community or whatnot, simple traffic stuff we're just trying to give diversion to. And that's been our strategy, is just try to take care of the ones that are reasonable to take care of, and, make reasonable plea offers on the ones that we can, and the ones that have to go to trial, obviously we'll go to trial on. And we like to, our attorneys like to, they like going to trial. It's the challenge that they went to school for, and why they're doing what they're doing. So that is how it's going at the moment, though.
So in the last 12 months, how many months of operation have we been in court?
About 5, I believe.
Okay.
That we've been able to have jury trials. We thought we were going to last October, a year ago, and it shut down then. We didn't open up until about April, May. So, and then we had those 5 months.
Have we lost any trials due to the speedy trial laws?
Not this year that I have seen. Our attorney's been trying to be really careful. I think there was one last year that we did. And that was more of a debate. We were trying to show case law that we calculated speedy correct, but the judge didn't agree with it, and so that was just a ruling kind of issue. But not this year.
Well, and my understanding is that some of the speedy trial requirements have been told
Okay.
with the courts being closed, and so speedy trial often gets kicked back. So, it's not necessarily a deterrent. I mean, I think the biggest problem is probably more the backlog of cases than running up against speedy trial deadlines.
Okay.
Yeah, and that is part of the issue. Ian's right. So what happens is we have a jury trial day and 8 trials get set. We can only have 1, obviously, at that time. And so the other ones just keep getting pushed back. That's why when we first opened up, in the springtime, we were having 2 jury trials a week, which is really costly and stressful for all parties involved, but it was one of the ways that we were getting through that. So, Ian is right in that sense.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, well, I hope you get to feeling better, Clarissa, and
Thank you.
I guess we'll see you next time.
Yeah, hopefully Matt can make it. We keep, switch it to any day besides Tuesdays. Matt be happy to be here. So,
Would
let me know
the
if you guys.
commissioners entertain Saturday meetings?
I think
Only if it's over coffee and breakfast.
Sorry, that'd
I think,
interrupt your cartoon time, wouldn't it?
I think we left
They
it
do this
open,
every day,
Clarissa.
Mayor.
Don't forget to remind him that we do have our workshops on Monday, and Monday I thought was more open for him.
Yeah, it might be. I'll get with Shaq and see if maybe we can start getting on those days.
So-
He still has some court, but it's not as heavy. Tuesdays, unfortunately, are just his busiest days in front of the district court judge, so.
Sure.
But
We
Mondays,
understand
we
that.
could make work possibly.
Yeah, we said would make time open any time we needed to, but Mondays, we're in here starting at 1:30 also.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
whatever.
that might be an option. I'll get with
Okay.
Shaq.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. We're going to move right into the award of the Community Intervention Program. We opened these bids up yesterday in our workshop. We did receive one bid for the EMTs, and we received one bid for the clinicians. They were opened up yesterday. One was from the Cortez Fire Department, Fire Protection District for the EMTs, and the other one was from Access Health for the clinicians. Shaq, and if you want to...
And there were no competing bids, and they did meet all the requirements of the request for bids. And so it is the recommendation of staff that the county award the EMT contracts to the Cortez Fire Protection District in the amount of $137,917.44, and to award the clinicians to Access Integrated Health in the amount of $186,302.49. And Kim has both of those bids in her packets.
Any other discussion, gentlemen, before we...
No.
I looked at them yesterday, so. I would move that we award the bid to the Cortez Fire Protection District for the 2 emergency medical technicians for the amount of $113,982. This would be payable in 12 monthly payments in the sum of $11,493.12.
And that also, there should...
137.
Yeah, there should be another line on there that includes the indirect charges. So the total will be $137,917.44. Or Jay could just waive a bunch of money today, and that'd be fine too.
Yeah, second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept the emergency medical technician services for the Community Intervention Program awarded to the Cortez Fire Protection District annually in the amount of $137,921.49. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
On that, I would move that we award the proposal for the proposal of the behavioral health clinician services for the community intervention program in the amount of $186,302.49, not to be exceeded, to Access Health.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to also award to Access Health for the behavioral health clinician services and pilot community intervention program in the amount of $186,302.49. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. There you go. Any unfinished business? He made it. A signature. Okay, James Dietrich, I know that he has something that he emailed to us as far as a letter for the RAP.
Don, would you grab James? Thank you.
Shaq, we can go ahead and go to you.
Thank you, Commissioner. So, I got some things to you guys over the weekend as they came in one of them as late as yesterday. Our grant writer was successful in writing a grant to the Department of Ag that'll help to offset the cost of our county fair in the amount of $37,561. And so I need the commissioners to approve and sign that.
I would move that we sign this acceptance of the grant number POGG1 BAAA 202200002422.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the grant from the State of Colorado Department of Agriculture to Montezuma County Fair in the amount of $37,561. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then I have a letter of support. The town of Mancos is going after a planning grant to help them plan for attainable housing, specifically workforce housing in and around their 3-mile zone of influence, preferably adjacent to the community. But as you saw the articles in the Colorado Sun yesterday and today, housing is an issue everywhere. They're seeking a planning grant from DOLA and asking that we support them in their efforts.
Yeah, I move we approve the support letter for the Affordable Housing Strategy Grant for Mancos.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the Affordable Housing Strategy Grant for Mancos, Colorado. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And commissioners, that will conclude my report.
Okay, thank you, Shaq. James, if you want to come on down, and I know you had a letter for us for the rack.
Yeah, that came in yesterday.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Gentlemen and lady. So that was the first thing I wanted to bring forward was a letter of recommendation for the RAC. Apparently, they were not allowed to advertise the last time, which was about midsummer, which was the first time I applied for it. So I'm going to re-up my application on that, and that's what we have here. And I'm applying for 2 positions. I would take either one of them. One would be Category 3, which would be a representative of the elected officials. The other one would be a Category 2, which would be dispersed recreation. Obviously, I'm a dispersed recreationalist, and I'm also a representative of the county. So I think having two slots that they can put me in would be good. So that's the first thing. And then the other thing I wanted to update the commissioners on is that I've been working with Jim McLean regarding the broadband project. We've been kind of cooking on this idea for a while, but we really kind of need to get a little bit more traction on it. But we're looking at a way of really trying to combine the Paz Mesa Verde Trail with the broadband, getting it all the way to Mancos. And we think that combining the two might be a way to help pull each project along. I mean, for one thing, we've got an opportunity, and again, I still really got to figure out some details on this. We'll set up some meetings with FWHA to talk through all this. But we do feel like there's a possibility that using, whatever dollars we put into the broadband project could be used as match against the trail project, and vice versa. Trail project dollars could probably be matched against the broadband project. So hopefully we can integrate the two together, and maybe we can get each project to pull each other along then at that point. So anyway, I just want to let you know that we're working on trying to solve 2 problems with one. So maybe we'll get some traction on it. It's a little too early to tell, but I just want to let you know we are working on it. So.
Have you been talking to Matt Moraro too from CDOT? Because at our TPR meeting Thursday, now that Senate Bill 260 was passed, in the 10-year plan, those years of 1 through 4 have basically been completed, and now they're going to accelerate the rest of that.
Mhm.
So that was 267 money, I think. So the MMOF money is now going to come out of the 260 funding.
Okay.
So I think it'll be a conversation we need to talk to Matt to see. 'Cause
Absolutely.
we're going to have to reprioritize what was on the list of the 10-year plan and move things up, not
Mhm.
create new things. But as far as what was on the list is going to be accelerated because of the 260 funding that CDOT's going to receive.
Okay.
And a lot of it is for MMOF.
Yeah, and I was aware of part of this, so, yeah, okay.
And
Yeah,
that was-
and I am in conversation with Matt, for sure.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, this may actually work out pretty good. You know, FWHA asked me too if there's any possibility that we could advance the time frame on this project if their money became available. And that is the big if. So we have to make sure that they get their funding allocated where it's supposed to go. If so, then perhaps you know, the two projects will accelerate, and hopefully that is the case. So I think that you know, in some ways tying these two together kind of make that trail much more practical in the minds of a lot of folks out there. And a lot of folks want access to broadband, which may also help us you know, line up our right-of-way. Which is kind of the lingering problem on the Cortez side. You know, we can run everything down the you know, CDOT right away, obviously. Although there are problems with that too, as we've uncovered. But really, I think you know, having the possibility of tapping into broadband would be a pretty big attractant for a lot of folks that live along that route. We also, you know, want to consider this as far as our economic development team and how it plays into that, and some of the areas that we've identified as being, you know, high potential for, you know, economic development too. So, anyway, well, it's kind of a lot to kind of get our heads around, but we'll start working on that and make sure we, you know, can fit all the pieces in together wherever we can. So, that'd be great to just kill two birds with one stone if we possibly could. So,
And it sounds like it's going to get accelerated.
yeah, it does.
Because of the 267 funding that they had, and now they're going to get the 260 funding through the state. So it sounds like it's going to get,
Okay.
the priorities are going to shift pretty quickly.
That's good to hear on the state level, and then on the federal side too. I think there's a strong chance it may get accelerated there too. They wouldn't have brought this up if they didn't think that might be happening. So,
Okay.
I wanted to mention one other thing. You know, in terms of strategy on that final stretch, you know, we still got to do the design from Cortez to the fairgrounds. That's the final piece on that. You know, one of the things that we've experienced in the past is we've been going for some of the smaller GOCO grants, and usually they fund about half of what you need for doing the design. After talking to FWHA, they think we would be just highly competitive at this point. As long as we get the Manka side moving, then we're really competitive. So the advantage is with FWHA is we have the dollars available to actually do the project. Through GOCO, I mean, their grants are so small. We just got to cobble so many of them together to be able to make it work. And first of all, it becomes more complicated that way. But also, you know, you're just kind of dragging the whole project out, and one phase of it trips over the next phase just because of timing sometimes. So my strategy, and after talking to FWHA, they really were pushing for this, is just to go for those dollars for that final stretch. Because they would take a look at going from Cortez all the way to Mesa Verde all at one time. And, you know, they take over the whole project at that point. They do the final design, they do all the contracting, they do all the supervision on the construction. So there's far less, you know, effort put into lining up grants and trying to do all those matches all the way around if we can get them, you know, to commit to doing the Cortez side also. And if we can fit these two projects together, I think they're going to be really excited to hear about this, and we'll really try to help us achieve that. At the bare minimum, you know, what we should try to accomplish is getting the conduit put in along with the trail, if nothing else. The problem is we're probably maybe looking at a faster time frame for the broadband than we are for the trail currently. So what we're trying to do is see how we can accelerate both of them to where they sync up and meet in the middle. So.
Will the easements be the same for the broadband and the trail?
Okay, so that's another aspect here. For the trail, we're obligated to using the CDOT negotiation process. With that broadband, we may not be obligated to that. So if we can get easement in place via the broadband, then that may get us off the hook for doing the easements and right-of-way through the CDOT process, because we'd already have it.
My point is, once we secure the easement and they put a whole path in there, seems to me like the trail's built. Just tell the bicyclist to stay within the easement and it'll continue to harden and pack itself. Call it a hunch.
I love that idea. I suspect we get shut down in a heartbeat on that, though, to be honest. I don't think CDOT's going to allow that to happen.
I think the crossings are probably the big thing. There
Yeah.
are some gullies, some ravines, there are some things that have to be taken care of within that right-of-way still.
I've always loved that concept, because I think, if nobody had said anything about this, we could probably, it might happen, but I think if CDOT caught wind of that they would probably put a stop to that, is kind of my suspicion. But, and you're right, the crossings through there there are a lot of them, and they're kind of hard. Now, for a mountain biker, yeah, you could probably figure out how to get, a single track trail will just naturally develop. I'm sure they could figure that out. If that's all we want, then that's
But
great.
it's multi-use, it's more than that, it's more than just, you gotta have it, applicable for walkers, hikers,
Right.
bikers, equestrian, although I'm not sure a lot of equestrian will use it, but it's multi-use, so I think that's the whole theory behind it.
But on that note, if we get right-of-way, and we allow mountain bikers to start accessing that right-of-way, they'll probably forge a route all the way to Phil's World, and then as we're, over time, we can probably go ahead and get that trail more well-developed. So I love the idea. I think it works better if we're outside of the CDOT right-of-way, though, is kind of my honest opinion on that. I've taken a walk along that potential route through right-of-way there. Boy, there's some pretty tough country to traverse through there. So, without doing some actual trail construction, and you're going to have to be digging into the hillside and stuff, you probably couldn't accomplish it anyway. So, like the idea, but whether or not it really has a practicality or not, I don't know. So,
I'd like to motion that we approve letter of support for James Dietrich to be reappointed to the Southwest Resource Advisory Council.
And I'll second it.
Been moved
you,
and
gentlemen.
seconded to send in a letter of support for James Dietrich to the Southwest District RAC. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
well, I thank you, gentlemen. I guess that really kind of concludes my report. We're working on economic development type stuff last week, and pretty well tied up most of the time. So,
Thank you,
anyway,
James, for stepping up for this stuff.
oh, you bet.
Yes, sir.
We're excited to try to make something happen here. I would let the commissioners also know the town of Dolores has asked me to come up and provide kind of a briefing on where we're at with the 30 by 30 project, and that would be this coming Monday in the evening.
So is that coming back up? Because I thought that they had left it alone after our request. I kind of thought I saw something reading their report the other day.
Yeah, apparently it's come back up, and my understanding is Gwen Lachelle should be over there on Monday night also.
I'll get with you on that because we'll be there Monday together.
Okay, excellent.
Okay.
Very good. All right, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Commissioners report.
Yeah, not much to report. Took some road calls this week, and I didn't attend the city council meeting, but I did go in on YouTube and watched a couple of people take up all the work session about the critical intervention team. Was pretty well received by council. I don't know if where they're gonna go, but also they had a report from their arts committee, and somebody has put a value on the murals on the walls around here. And what was, I can't remember.
70-something thousand dollars.
$74,000 per mural, something like that. Now they're talking about repairs and maintenance to all those murals, so might be an interesting process to watch. Other than that, I don't have anything else.
So who's responsible for the mural, the property owner or the art group?
The art group, the art commission was at the city asking for funds to finish the murals. So I think, didn't you get that they were a property of the city?
The
Responsibility, not a property.
the implication was that the taxpayers of the city of Cortez are responsible for their art. That was the implication. I'm not arguing in favor of it. That's just how it came across.
Yeah, that's the way it came across.
Okay. All right. Joel?
Want to make
Well,
sure.
You
that
probably
I
were out and
thinks that's
about.
more
I was out and
efficient.
about. I had a 10-day paid vacation, so I just got a lot of reading done this week and stuff. And we did get an email here a minute ago from DWCD about the legislation of the NCA, and it looks like they cannot support the NCA as it's written, and there's gonna be some stuff. So I would really like to get Ken Curtis in here to talk to us about that, because we can't let these water issues just go on and on. We need to stay on top of them.
Their
So-
comment period was until the 25th, correct?
Something like that. But I've just been trying to flip through this email a little bit, and they have a lot of concerns about it, so we sure need to get them in here and talk to them about it.
Sooner rather than later, huh?
Yeah. And I didn't make it to Mancastown Board last Wednesday, so.
It sounds like we probably ought to try to have Ken Curtis in Monday,
Yeah.
since that's the 25th.
Okay, for myself, on Wednesday, Shaq was able to join me. We went on a Montezuma County Housing Authority tour. We toured the Cochran's Commons along with the two other structures there. Progress is coming along real well. They are in their drywall stage right now, doing the parking lots on the south side of the building, and they are on track to have those things up and running, he said, by the end of June of 2022, which is 42 units. The Housing Authority is going to be housed in the Cochran's Commons on the first floor on the east side, and there will be also apartments in there, 2 and 3 bedrooms. And then the other two structures on the other side, which are 15-unit apartments, and they also have 2 and 3 bedroom units in there. We also toured the remaining properties in Cortez, Dolores, and Mancos, and just did a quick overview of all the properties, not really an inspection, but just an overview, and everything is full. So housing, obviously, as everybody knows, is still a pretty big deal. On Thursday, we met with Mr. Rosignol, talking of his possible proposal of a plant, which would be more of a manufactured housing plant, potentially here in Montezuma County. So there's some brainstorming going on with that with the economic development team. Jumped into a Southwest TPR meeting, which was what I was just talking about, James, depending on the 267 funding to the 260 funding, which I know there's all kinds of numbers out there, but it's all stuff that's been coming down from the state and how these projects in the 10-year plan are going to be moved forward. Went to Denver again on Friday for the STAC meeting, the State Transportation Advisory Committee meeting. One of the big things in there, again, are the greenhouse gas emissions and the reductions that are going to have to be met as part of the 260 funding. It's really going to affect more of the MPOs and not necessarily the TPRs, which are the Metropolitan Planning Organizations, and not the Transportation Planning Region, which we are down here in Region 5, because of the amount of people or the population we have. I mean, nothing as far as population as they have in the MPOs. So it's really going to affect them more than it'll ever affect us for CDOT projects. Had our workshop yesterday. Talked a little bit. Well, we had a presentation from Jimmy Rod, basically again of the creation of the racetrack at the fairgrounds and how it's transformed over a period of time. But just so that everybody knows, again, from this commission, and I hope some specific people are listening, but the contract is out there. It is open to anybody, and any presentation can be brought before this commission at any time. And anybody wanting to negotiate or talk to us, they have that opportunity. Obviously, we don't want our fairgrounds manager circumvented, but get with the fairgrounds manager, and the proposals can be discussed at that point in time. So it is open to everybody and anybody willing to step forward. Finished up our budget presentations yesterday in our workshop, and I believe, gentlemen, that is all that I have. So with that, do we have anything else for the good of the county at this point in time?
No, not at this time.
Okay, well.
I would move that we adjourn this meeting.
Second.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded that we adjourn this meeting of October 19th, 2021. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.